One of the things that we were talking about with disclosure is you have all this information running around. I'm not the only person giving this information out. One of the things that's necessary is some degree of discernment. People have to understand that, okay, you take this information, what does it mean to you? What to you is really true? What does your higher self, which knows right from wrong, how does it operate? How can we properly interact with it, connect with it on a regular basis, and develop a true communication system between our higher self, our true self, and ourselves? Excuse me. So let's look at this. First of all, let's ask ourselves a simple question. What is discernment? Okay, let me give you a simple definition. This is a very simple definition. Basically, it's your inner wisdom. Because of that, it has a deep understanding of everything and a capacity for sound judgment. By sound judgment, I don't mean logic as we know it. I mean intuitive understanding of what's happening, or what you see around you, or what you want to do. So basically, what discernment is our inner green light on any issue. What should we do with this? What should we not do with this? If we ask our body, is it true, whether we use some kinesiology aspect to try to see if a movement indicates right or wrong, or more importantly, we go inside. We use a meditative system that allows us to communicate, first to develop that communications, and then to communicate with our true self and answer some deep, simple questions about what is right and what is wrong. So what I'm going to give you now is a 6-step process given to me by the Ascended Masters to do this. So let's look at it. This, as I say, is an exercise for developing one's discernment. So let's start with step 1 and move all the way through. So let's start, therefore, with step 1. Step 1, create a relaxed state. Relax and connect in your own way to your higher self. One of the things to start this discernment process is a everyday, simple exercise, actually not mental, but spiritual exercise. A spiritual exercise to connect with your higher self. You could just be a quiet time where you just quiet yourself. You say some magical phrases that have always helped you feel stronger about your relationship to your spiritual self, and begin a process. Now, this may take weeks, this may take days, this may take hours. Everybody is different. You may have a regular meditation procedure that you've been doing for years or decades. In that case, you have been building within your mind, your spiritual mind, not your physical mind, your spiritual mind and your heart. You've been connecting intuitively with your core self, your true self. What we're doing now is developing an exercise to go the next step, to begin an exercise of cross-communications between your true self, your higher self, your I am presence, and you. So step 2 is surround yourself with white light. Use this white light as a protection from the dark. Bring in all your angels, bring in all your light down from the Creator, from heaven, and surround yourself and create a protective field, a spiritual energy field around you. Allow yourself to use this energy to now venture outward in ways that you did not feel safe before. What we're doing is we're creating a safety zone. Now connect with your higher self, your true self, your I am presence, whatever phrase you wish to utilize. And as you do that, and as you make this connection, put in your mind the object for this whole exercise. What is it you want to discern? What is it? Is it a simple question? Is it about a whole bunch of data or whatever? What is it about? Is it about those things that are making you confused? What your purpose is to create a general feeling of not only safety, but a feeling that you are now able to connect with that aspect of you which is related to the Creator, which is related to the cosmic truths. And what you want to do is to truly carry on a conversation. That's why in part 2, step 2, you surrounded yourself with the safety zone of white light to make sure the dark or anybody else cannot come in and create a false communications with you. You want this to be the stuff of truth. You want it to be a conversation that is meaningful. And once again, all I'm saying here is it's necessary to develop this over time. Do not expect, except in very rare instances, to do this one time and carry on a 2-hour conversation with yourself about something. It's not going to happen because you have around your mind all kinds of guards, electrical guards that your brain is set up to guard and make sure that you stay within this limited self. You are now moving beyond that. You are taking hold of who and what you are, and you're moving beyond all of that. So step 4 is when you make that actual connection. And as you make that connection with your higher self, that energy of light that is the essence of who you are, that energy that takes the energy of the Creator and pushes it into this physical form to create who you are, now you can communicate with that aspect of you that is fully committed to the truth of who and what you are, to moving you forward in ways that your life contract has specified, that you have agreed to before you were born. So now you can, when you contact that, actual contact that and feel it, you will feel an inner peace, a wondrous feeling of joy like you've never felt before. You have connected with who you really are. It's like opening up this huge nut, like a walnut or whatever, and now being able to open that up and take the true meat of who you are, so to speak, expose it. But in this case, not only expose it to yourself, but allow yourself to interact with it. So now carry on a dialogue. You don't want just words like yes or no here. You want to have an event here, a communication that can fully define the meaning behind your answer. You just don't want a yes or a no or a maybe. You want some real dialogue. And that's what this step is about. Carry on that dialogue. Allow for that person, that being who you really are, to interact with you on a regular basis. You are now creating a situation where you can actually begin what I like to call the dialect of who you are. When you go through that process, as you go through it, you will begin then to more easily understand who and what you are about. Sometimes it may shock you, but this is the key point here. Yes, there may be some shocking things that it will be revealed, but the key to all of this, and this is the important thing, is it will be truthful. It will be frank. It will be open. Your true self doesn't waste around the bush, so to speak, with questions. It's direct. One of the things that I have discovered since I was a little kid is that when you connect with your true self, amazing things happen. Now, I was lucky when I was young that when I first started doing all this stuff, I had beings who already had been doing these things since they were little, and they were now thousands of years old. The amount of experience in doing this was immense. The degree of gentleness in introducing this to you was likewise infinite. They had the ability to not only manipulate you from your sadness to your joy, they would create actual ways for you to put the white light around you, to understand the nature of what this meant, and to have conversations with yourself. And not only that, they would bring in your own guardian spiritual committee that was around this true self and allow you to interact with it. And you learned a lot of things about who you were, why you were here, and where you were going. Washta did this with me when I was young because I, one, had very little confidence in anything I did. I did not believe that I could do anything. I did not believe that all the things that they had told me I was supposed to do, I could do. And my higher self told me to do it. My problem was I tend to be my own natural skeptic. So I fought it, and I also gave in. So I had this back and forth. That's why it's necessary to not just have one little conversation. You need to build up who you are. You need to discover why you're here. You need to discover all the things that you hear are real or not. That's the important part of what we're talking about with this exercise. And that's why it's so important. Let's go to step 5. Now, after you've gone through this true discussion of everything with your higher self, apply it to daily life. The concept is to make this thing practical. It's not just to answer a question. It's, well, okay, so that's what you've said. How do I do this? So ask. Remember, you have a team behind you. This team wants you to succeed. It has only one purpose in life, to make you succeed. It doesn't want you to suffer. It doesn't want you to do any bad things. It doesn't want you to put yourself down. So when you connect to that, it helps to lessen those possibilities. And 6, once you've done all the things that we've talked about, then just slowly return to your normal state. After you've spent some time in a very deep physical, spiritual state, you need to allow yourself time to come down. When you come back into your body, into a more dense physical aspects of what you're doing, it becomes essential that you use what you have been told, but also that you allow yourself to come back into your physical body so that you know that you are indeed able to succeed at what you're doing.